Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. I'm Stephanie Fisher. I'm a licensed counselor here in the state of Michigan, and I am owner and operator of In Progress Counseling. Today we're going to talk about how important it is to seek out the good in the other. This is especially true when I'm in relationship with someone, because seeking out their good allows me a felt sense of trust, a felt sense of safety, a felt sense of okayness. When I am focused on the negative, I am going to feel the other side of that. I am going to feel unsafe. I'm going to feel untrusting. I'm likely going to self-protect. I'm going to become very likely harsh and critical. It is really, really important to be seeking out the good in the other, but it's not just because of my own internal orientation. Now, that matters a great deal, because if I'm looking for threat, if I'm looking for evidence that someone sucks, basically, I'm going to live in close proximity to someone I don't trust and someone who I interpret as being not for my good, or someone who's a perpetual disappointment. That's actually quite problematic for me, because if I'm in that context, I'm going to armor up. If I assume the worst about them, they're also going to get perpetual messaging that I'm disappointed in them. They're going to get perpetual messaging that I don't trust them. If someone is habitually untrustworthy, there are boundaries that we navigate. There are buffers that we put into the relationship if there's continual disrepair, betrayal, abuse happening. However, for a relationship to be healthy and successful, we want to go into the psychology around negatives and positives. And the psychology tells us that for every negative impact in the relationship, you typically need 5 to 7 to 9 to 11 positive experiences just to neutralize us and bring us back to a fairly healthy baseline. What that means is positive inputs over time consistently that outweigh the negative inputs. That's typically where relationships can flourish. If we're getting a ton of taxation to the relationship through positive inputs, I'm not sure how we expect the relationship to actually flourish. If I'm in close proximity and someone is sending me consistent messages that they disapprove of me, they're disappointed in me, they don't trust me, they don't like me, they don't enjoy me, friends, what do I expect is going to happen? Think of what grief actually is. I imagine grief is a big part of that cycle, where there's anger that shows up. I might try things, but if it's not working, I might shut down, I might withdraw, I might get depressed. Eventually I'm going to be like, well, you don't like me anyway, so I guess screw you is our new attitude. Now, it takes a very healthy person to not get pretty cynical, but if I'm getting perpetual messages of disappointment and disapproval, I'm going to react as though I can't get the win anyway. And typically, if I can't get the win in, I think, well, what's the point? I might as well do a lose-lose situation here, which means I take you down with me. What that means relationally is Steph, actually have a ton of influence in the relationships that I navigate. And typically, putting in positive inputs and seeing the other positively so that I can maintain that positive energy in the relationship, it does matter a great deal. So let's say I have a friend who I'm particularly frustrated with. I can ask my brain to seek out the good in the other, to the tune of, like, for every frustrated thought I have over here, I'm thinking of 5 to 7 to 9 to 11 ways that I actually love this person, value this person, honor this person, want to give grace to this person. The more I seek that out, the more I neutralize this frustration that I'm feeling. The reason that matters is because my frustration is going to typically be evidenced in my behavior towards this person. And what happens is when I give those negative emotional experiences a big stronghold, the relational disrepair is actually going to be a pretty typical pathway. Because if I'm frustrated about you in my head, it's going to show up through the behavior quite typically. You're going to experience that. You're typically going to armor up. The entire process, there's a breakdown that's happening. Steph, can start to intervene on that process in my own intra processes. So within me, when I seek out the good in the other, number one, I'm doing some brilliant work for my own psyche and for my own physiology. If I can see the good in the other, then the world feels a touch more sturdy. When I cannot see the good in the other and I'm just heaping the frustration in my thought process about this person, it's going to wreak havoc on me too. And so I'll often walk with clients around what is some of the good we can at least pinion ourselves with, not because the bad's not there, but because for your own inner balance, we have to seek out the good. If you expect this relationship to have any health to it, we have to seek out the good. We have to err on the side of generous assumptions. If there's bad behaviors going on, we have buffers, we use boundaries, we make sure that we're very clear in our communication about our limits. And for my benefit in a healthy relationship, I need to be seeking out the good of the other. That can be so frustrating for people to think through, like, why is it my responsibility to see them well? Well, because if you don't, what happens is breakdown within you and breakdown within the relationships. Now, if you want the relationship to be managed and to be salvageable and to be maintained and even to flourish, that takes a lot of inner strength to say, okay, then I need to seek out their good. I need to seek out that there are good things here. They are valuable. They are worthy. It is important that I work on cultivating my sense of the both and. Yes, the frustration's here, and there's good too. And it's my responsibility to remind myself of that again and again and again. And the psychology would tell us often and insistently, I'm going to have to remember that they have worth, they have dignity, they are valued. I need to demonstrate love towards them. The more I do that work, the more relationally healthy I get to be.